أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعه بإحسان إلى يوم الدين سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم سبحانك لا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي وأفوض أمري إلى الله إن الله بصير بالعباد اللهم صل صلاة كاملة وسلم سلاما تاما على سيدنا محمد الذي تنحل به العقد وتنفرج به الكرب وتقضى به الحوائج وتنال به الرغائب وحسن الخواتم ويستسقى الغمام بوجهه الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه في كل لمحة ونفس بعدد كل معلوم لك اللهم إنا نسألك موجبات رحمتك اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا وقلبا خاشعا ولسانا ذاكرا وشاكرا وتوبة نصوحا ربي يسر ولا تعسر ربي تمم بالخير ربي زدني علما وفهما والحقنا بالصالحين لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. My respected brothers and very respected sisters, Jamaat al-Muslimin, we are going through in this Ramadan, alhamdulillah, we have done Taraweeh number 10. In other words, we fasted 9 days, alhamdulillah. Therefore, tomorrow, as in the morning when we start fasting, 10 days would have completed. أوله رحمة أوسطه مغفرة وآخره عتق من النار. As Ramadan is defined by Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, first 10 days of which is pouring down of rahmah coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the fasting people, is ibad, and the second 10 is his forgiveness, and the third akhir ayyam, or the last 10 days of Ramadan, is itqun min an-nar. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala include us amongst those such lucky people, inshallah ta'ala. We're going through the book of Imam Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, Hafidh Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, called Al-Munabbihat. And last night in our lesson we went through a saying of Imam Ali karramallahu wajha, was the last saying. We just for recalling purposes, we'll go over it perhaps a minute or so, then we can continue inshallah. وعن علي رضي الله تعالى عنه أنه قال من كان في طلب العلم كانت الجنة في طلبه ومن كان في طلب المعصية كانت النار في طلبه. The one who seeks after al-ilm, there is no ta'arif at the beginning of the ilm, meaning a specific kind of ilm that we mentioned yesterday. That's ilm al-tawheed, the ma'rifatullah, to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is not any science, any knowledge. This is the knowledge, al-ilm. When a person seeks the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, tawheed, correct belief, aqidah, ma'rifah, how to reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Jannah, paradise, will seek after him. And the one who seeks after ma'asiyah, any form of disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, deliberate act of defiance, is what equals sin. When you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks you to do something, but you do the opposite, knowingly, not by mistake, not in a state of what you call forgetfulness, but I am talking about deliberately. That's a sin, that's called ma'asiyah in Islam. And a person who chases ma'asiyah, lots of gunahs, lots of disobedience, then Jahannam will set up a beacon on him and will chase him. Jahannam. If Jahannam is chasing you, that means he wants you. In other words, the people of Ma'asiyah will end up in Jahannam. And the people of Ilm, inshallah, will end up in Jannah. وعن يحيى ابن معاذ رضي الله تعالى عنه Yahya ibn Mu'adh, one of the companions, mashallah, a person of the highest zuhd and taqwa. He had such a karam. Any money he receives, anything that he earns, he spends. One of his sons lost his mind. He killed his father. He died as a shaheed with a stone. Why didn't you leave me any money? I want money. I want money. He wanted dunya, but Yahya ibn Mu'adh radiallahu anhu was very smart, so he always used to give out. So what is the hukum? Some of you are asking, isn't it better for him to leave some money to his children? During your lifetime, if they are under your care until a certain age, yes, you have to provide for them. But after a certain age, as a young man, 30 years old, still expecting money from his father, that's not on. And the father can spend every single cent of his money fi sabilillah while he is healthy, while he is alive. There is nobody can stop him. But the hukum is, if the person is dying in his deathbed, he cannot give all of his wealth away. The Sharia says stop. You can give certain portion, but you must leave a major portion to your children. Because you're already 1 foot in the grave. You're dying. What's the use of it? But when you are working, when you're alive, everything is going fine. So you have $10 million. Yes? You make it a sadaqah. You spend it in some sadaqah jariyah or something that you will benefit from. Nobody can interfere with this. As our Shaykh Mahmud Qaddasallahu Sirrahu al-Aziz, he used to tell us, it's in the hadith, he says, when you want to give a large sadaqah, I'm talking about real sizable, that's going to make a huge difference to this particular project, for example. A couple of million. Or your land, your house, for example. Then Shaitan alayhi la'na will appoint 90 of his expert disciples, Shaitan, to go and change the mind of this person so that he does not give that sizable charity, sadaqah. 90 of them. This also happens when you go into Hajj, by the way, this 90. When you intended to go to Hajj, you make the intention, mashallah, you paid your money, you go into Hajj. From the moment that you left home until you come back, 90 of the shayateen will constantly try to give you fitna, try to break your intention, or get into trouble, get into the fisq and fujur, get into some argumentation and lose your Hajj. Our Shaykh said, we were in Ankara looking for a place to build a masjid. We can't find the land. It's all heavily developed in the area that we are looking for. Finally, we found, after 2-3 days of search, one particular land suitable for our need. Not a big masjid, but enough size, maybe big as this one. We're looking, we cannot get in touch with anybody. At Isha time, he says, somebody approached me, an elderly person. MashaAllah, Haji, you can tell. He's been to Hajj, he's wearing this familiar taqiyya and the size of his beard. You can tell that he's been to Hajj before. He says, Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh. I heard that you're looking for a land to build a mosque. That land that you were looking for is mine. fully paid. It's mine. Inshallah, for Fajr, I'll bring you the title. And this is my sadaqah jariyah, inshallah. And you build the mosque on it, inshallah, and the Jama'ah will benefit. We were so happy. Came the morning, he says, he came for Fajr. The guy is crying. His head is down. Sorry, Shaykh, I can't give it to you. Why? As soon as I went home, I told my wife. She hit the roof. She rang all my children, neighboring townships. They all came. Now my neighbors came, neighbor's dog came, everybody came. And they said, you can't do this to us, you're going to die soon, we need this land for us, don't do this, don't do this. They changed my mind and they took the title out of my hand and I said, I can't give it to you. What was the hadith? When you want to do something real khair, serious, Shaitan appoints 90 of his best first class consultants, experts on it. Shayateen min al-ins wal jinn. Both humankind who do the bidding of Shaitan and the real jinn kind, that is the one who gives waswasa. Why did we talk about this? Yahya ibn Mu'adh radiallahu anhu's son killed him, made him shaheed, because he used to spend a lot during his lifetime. This is a saying from him. ما عصى الله كريم وما آثر الدنيا على الآخرة حكيم. A kareem, an honorable and noble person would never be disobedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will not go into ma'asiyah. A person has dignity, a person has izzah and sharaf, will not be a slave to his lusts, his desires, or just do what the silly, the rebel people do, young people do. A noble person. Nobility in Islam. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. Amongst the Arabs, before anything else, they look at your nobility, whether you're a noble person or not, your akhlaq, your character, upright person or not. An upright, righteous person, a noble person, is the best person. The rebel, second class, third class, untouchable, is a different story. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows this, how important it is in the sight of human beings. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna akramakum. The most noblest amongst you is the one who has the greatest taqwa towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Taqwa is the determining factor. Akhlaq is the determining factor of a person's nobility. Not a person's blood tested DNA. I belong to a royal family. Or belong to some, my grandfather was a duke. The other one was a baron. The other one was something else. I don't know. I'm from Brunei. I belong to some of the sultans. It means nothing. Real nobility is in what? Taqwa. Taqwa is, what was taqwa, definition of taqwa? The ability to say no to ma'asiyah. When you see haram, when you see a temptation, you say no thank you. Astaghfirullah al-Azim. Astaghfirullah al-Azim. Put the head down, put the eyes down, close the ears. Yes? This is taqwa. So a kareem person, this is a status, social status amongst human beings. A kareem person, a generous person, a noble person will never resort to disobedience, ma'asiyah. And also amongst the Arabs, the second quality attribute that people really valued was Hakim, wise one. Abu Jahl was called, what was his name? Abu al-Hakam, father of wisdom. During the time of Jahiliyyah, before Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was a leader, elite, smart, intelligent. But because of another disease, he could not believe in Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Therefore, the Muslims gave him the name, the title what? Abu Jahl, father of ignorance. So the person a Hakim person, you should go and ask his opinion, his nasiha, his advice on a matter. He's a wise person. Yes? But look at the way a Muslim looks at it. This is the zahiri, outer, manifest definition of wisdom, or what you call kareem, nobility. This is how human beings judge. But Islam's criterion, if you want to be a noble, atqakum. You need to keep away from harams. You need to have English God consciousness, whatever that means. Yeah, fear Allah. What does that mean? You need to fear Allah not as the way we fear policemen, not we fear the authorities, not fear the enemy. Na'udhu billah. This fear is out of respect, absolute awe to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Maybe I can give you another example of this fear. You just, mashallah, got engaged to the woman of your life, to the girl of your life, or the man of your life. And you've been dreaming about this person for years. Finally it's happening. And your heart is full of love for this person. What is the last thing in your mind in terms of treating this particular person? Offending the person? If you do something wrong in front of them, you will offend them. You will make them cry. You will make them sad. This is a different type of fear. This is a fear of offending, fear of disrespecting, fear of doing something that is ghayri adabi in front of this particular person. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, al-khaliqu kulli shay, al-razaqu kulli shay. Allah is the one who created us. Allah is the one. We owe everything to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A kareem, noble person who does not ever entertain the idea of disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is taqwa. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna akramakum inda Allah atqakum. And the wisdom, the wise person is not what everybody calls him wise. He's not a guru. In this day and age, in the information technology age, the most wisest in their eyes is Sheikh Google. He knows everything. You can ask him anything. But in the sight of Islam, the real wise person is the one who does not prefer this dunya over akhirah. A hakim, wise person would never prefer the dunya over akhirah. What is dunya? What is akhirah? Dunya is al-an. هذه الحياة الدنيا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لعب ولهو. Yes, just gain, entertainment. It's a race amongst each other who's going to have more wealth, more children, more status. Yes, this is dunya. Materialism. Akhirah, we cannot see, but it is definitely going to happen. It's part of our belief, aqidah. We believe that there is a day of judgment and there is eternity. So, this life is temporary. Ad-dunya mal'unatun wa mal'unun ma fiha. Says, this dunya is cursed and everything in it is also cursed. Says Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the Sahih Hadith. Illa dhikr Allah ta'ala wa ma wala. Except constant remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in a state of awareness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and anything and everything that facilitates his dhikr. For example, alimun or muta'allimun. Yes? Either you are the scholar who has learned, and or the one who teaches to others, and the one who seeks his knowledge. The talib. Or the muhib. Or the ones who has positive vibes. I'm using the vibes against the people who are seeking knowledge. He says anything other than these groups of people, they are Ahlul Dunya. And in a different hadith, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, had this dunya had any value in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as much as wing of a dead gnat, mosquito. If Allah valued this dunya, even as much as the wing of a dead mosquito. How much is the value of a dead mosquito? Yeah? Wing, just not the whole mosquito, just the wing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not have given a kafir a sip of water from this world if dunya had any value. So if whole dunya is yours, at the end, what's going to happen? It's going to stay here. How many years? 50, 60, 100 years. Yes? No problem. But the wise person is the one who understands that this dunya is fani. This dunya is temporary. This dunya is ephemeral. This dunya is temporary. What is eternal is Allah. What is eternal is akhirah, our eternal life. So a wise person, smart person, is the one who works for his akhirah, who uses the dunya without neglecting the dunya, but he knows that he's only just a utility, mata', as the Quran puts it. It's a utility, but he does not deny, it doesn't make halal haram to himself. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him, he does not put that dunya into his heart, but he works towards akhirah. This is the wisest person. Yahya ibn Mu'adh radiallahu ta'ala tells us. Inshallah, for tonight, I am going to give you one more. This is from Anil A'mash. Anil A'mash radiallahu anhu, I say, although he was not a companion. A'mash is one of the muhaddithun, one of the, perhaps Allah knows best, he was the first Muslim anthropologist. What does that mean? A person who goes and studies cultures. He used to travel between tribes, Bedouin tribes, and record down their habits, how they do it, what they do it, certain ways of cooking, their relics and their history. He used to write it down. Very prolific person, and he was very well known, respected alim, scholar of the highest caliber of his generation. One day, he came to one particular tribe in the desert, maybe 30, 40 tents, Bedouin tribe, with their camels and their goats, and in the heat. He's just walking around. There's nobody there. Some children are playing maybe. He saw one woman sitting at the gate of the khayman, of the tent. She is fully dolled up. You know what the expression is. She put on full-on makeup. She looks amazing, fully covered, of course. She's sitting outside, as if she's going to a wedding. Yes? And she's got a big tasbih in her hand. She's making dhikr. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. Amash looked at this woman. She knows Amash. He said, pointed out with his hands, he says, "What's that and what's this? You're fully dolled up, and in yet you're making tasbih. What's going on?" They don't usually mix and match. Yeah? Many of our Muslim women, when they put on makeup, put their wedding dress, not wedding dress, or dress to go to a wedding, forget about salat. They make qada for sure. Because I don't want to take off my hijab, I don't want to take off this, it's going to take too long time, it's going to, I'll make qada, readily available. But this person, dolled up completely, and she's got a tasbih in her hand. When he said this, what's this and what's this? What's the meaning of this? She turned around and said, "Ya Amash." If it was somebody else, I would have given them a very, very different answer. I could have told them to, buzz off, get lost. But because you're Amash, I'm going to tell you. You will understand. She says, "I have two masters, two lords, one with a little L, the other one with a capital L. My Lord with the small L is about to come home soon. And he wants me to look good towards him, attractive towards him. Therefore, I dolled up for him. But my Lord, Rabbil Alameen, is the one who's asking me to constantly remember him and be in vigilance in terms of dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I am doing my daily wirdis, she says, on your bike. A'mash. Such a, wise and learned scholar. What does he say? Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani took his saying. He says, من كان رأس ماله التقوى كلت الألسن عن وصف ربح دينه ومن كان رأس ماله الدنيا كلت الألسن عن وصف خسران دينه. Allahu Akbar. It is just a mindset. He says the one whose capital, Ra'sumal, is what is called your investment. In an investment, you have a capital. You have got $300,000-$400,000, you invest in something. So he says, when a person has, the one whose capital is taqwa, he's switched on, he knows what he's doing, he's working for akhirah, he avoids all the harams. Tongues, lisan. Tongues will be incapable of describing the fortune that is his piety. In other words, you'll never be able to express what this taqwa, this particular God consciousness, yes, brings to this person in terms of benefit. Because he knows this is a short life. I am here to go through some imtihan, some tests, and I am here to gain the rida of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, you fail to express, you praise His taqwa, His beauty in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Similarly, he says, وَمَنْ كَانَ رَأْسُ مَالِهِ الدُّنْيَا. If a person, on the other hand, whose capital is nothing but dunya, his main ghaya, objective in life, is nothing but dunya, tongues will be incapable of describing the magnitude of his loss of piety. It's like comparing dunya and akhirah. A Muslim has to be Ahlul Akhirah. A Muslim has to be focused on Ilahi anta maqsoodi wa ridaka. What happens? Did you choose in becoming what do you call Indian? No. Did you choose your parents? No. Did you choose to be here today? Yes, you did. But Allah enabled you. Yes. Did you choose your wife? No, Allah did. Did you choose your children? No, Allah did. So what's the use of complaining that you don't have blue eyes and blonde hair? Some people are like this, constantly in stress, constantly in a state of depression and complaining. But if you accept who you are, I'm just giving you a dunyawi example, and work on your best qualities rather than the shortfalls, you'll be a better person, happier person. Therefore, a Muslim at a younger age understand the nature of this dunya and the importance of the hereafter. You would put majority of your energy towards akhirah, winning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the Muslim. This is how we should be, inshallah ta'ala. How's our time going? Do we have another 5 minutes or just finished? Let's read this one and we will explain this tomorrow inshallah ta'ala or whenever it is next time. وعن سفيان الثوري رحمه الله قال كل معصية عن شهوة فإنه يرجى غفرانها وكل معصية عن الكبر فإنه لا يرجى غفرانها لأن معصية إبليس كان أصلها من الكبر وزلة آدم كان أصلها من الشهوة. He says, Sufyan al-Thawri is one of the Imams, Mujtahid Imams. He was like Abu Hanifa, Imam Malik, Imam Shafi. He lived during the time of Ahmad ibn Hanbal, radiallahu anhu. He's a mujtahid imam, he had his own madhab. During his time, his madhab was living, thriving. But after he died, his student did not continue the riwayah from their teacher, all his ijtihads. So slowly his madhab died out. He was very strict, mashallah, full taqwa plus. He was very strict in everything. Towards the end of his life, actually, he came to visit Ahmad ibn Hanbal in the masjid of Ahmad ibn Hanbal, where he's giving dars. It's during the day. Came closer. As he was about to enter into the masjid, next to the masjid is Ahmad ibn Hanbal's room, his ghurfa, his hujra, where he sleeps, his home, Imam's house. As he was approaching the masjid, the madrasa, on top of the terrace, on top of the house of Ahmad ibn Hanbal, there were some women, not properly dressed. I mean, they're dressed but not with the fully hijab, and young women, beautiful women, they're saying, hello, assalamu alaikum. To who? To who? As-Sufyan al-Thawri, the great sheikh. He says, astaghfirullah al-azim. He's getting angry, he's working himself up. He comes to Ahmad ibn Hanbal into the masjid. Assalamu alaikum. He says, everybody's looking at him, looks at him. He says, what kind of a sheikh are you? You allow your women to stand on top of the roofs and talk to people outside? Assalamu alaikum, he says. He leaves without talking. After a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, Ahmad ibn Hanbal does not say anything. After 20 minutes or so, that's finishes, he says, let's go and pray Dhuhr at the masjid of Sufyan al-Thawri, because we're going to pray his janazah today, after Dhuhr. He said, what? They go without asking any question. They come to Dhuhr time, there was, announcements were made that Sufyan al-Thawri passed away and his janazah will be after Dhuhr. They said, Shaykh, how did you know? He was going to die. He said, listen, firstly, I am not married. I don't have a wife. I don't know, do I have any jariyas? What he was seeing, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was showing him, perhaps the Hur al-Ain, there's some form of it, they're showing on top of the roof. He says he's going to, when you see those things, he says, you're going. So he says, that's why we came to lead, to pray his Salat al-Janazah. That's Sufyan al-Thawri. Our Shaykh Mahmud Kurkcu used to love him so much, he used to mention so many stories about him. He says, have you seen a person who wears a dress only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? I mean, when I came here, I was looking which color coordination, which, is it gold, is it black nicely, is it white, shall I wear white or some other, or this taqiyya goes with this one, and then, subhanAllah. One morning he came out of his house, his students waiting outside to take him into the masjid. It was dark because he hasn't got any light, not even candle. So in that rush, when he made wudu, he put his jacket on, coat on, but by mistake he put the coat inside out. It was not proper. So he put it inside out. It looks funny. You see all the stitches and everything else. One of the students said, Shaykh, sir, excuse me, master, sir, Effendim, He says, you're wearing the coat inside out. Coat inside out, people will, laugh at you. Can we change it? He said, I put this coat only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm not going to take it out for any human being, he says. That kind of man. As-Sufyan al-Thawri, radiallahu anhu. He says, every act of ma'asiyah, disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, committed due to weakness in shahwa. When we fall prey into temptation because of our nafs is weak. Yes? But for this weakness, because of the shahwa, due to shahwas, the sins committed due to shahwa, it is hoped that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive if you ask, if you make tawbah. every act of ma'asiyah, on the other hand, every act of sinning, disobedience, committed due to kibir, arrogance, its forgiveness is not hoped for. It's got no hope of being forgiven because the root cause of Shaitan alayhi la'na's disobedience was kibir, arrogance. Remember when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to Malaika, make sajda. What did Shaitan do? He stood like an idiot in front of billions of Malaika. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ma mana'aka? What prevented you from making sajda, obeying my commandment? He says, Ana khayrun minhu. I am better than him. This is what? Arrogance. The person who does not accept Islam, we call him a kafir. The root cause of kufr is two, ignorance and kibir. Why did Abu Jahl did not believe? The father of wisdom. Because of his arrogance, hasad. Yes? Shaitan was exactly the same. So because of his kibir, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not forgive him. But Adam alayhi salam, because of his shahwa, his lust to live longer, he ate from what? In a forgetful state. He made dhalla. He ate from the fruit. But because even he fell for his temptation, so to speak, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgave him. He asked for thousands of years, or 40 years it is called, 40 years, a long number. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala eventually accepted his dua and gave him the same sharaf that he had before. Shaitan alayhi la'na, because of his kibir, he's being condemned forever until he enters into Jahannam. Tomorrow, if you remind me, there is a particular episode between Shaitan alayhi la'na and Musa alayhi salam, where when Musa alayhi salam was going up the Mount Sinai, Jabal al-Tur, talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to receive the commandments, yes? Shaitan came at the bottom of the hill. He says, I know where you're going. I know what you guys are doing. He says, can you do me a favor? What's the favor? Please, please, please ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if I make tawbah, will He accept me back and put me back into where I started, pray amongst the malaika, the same rank? He says, are you serious? Yes, of course I am serious. Swear by Allah, wallahi I'm serious. He says, okay, that means if you make tawbah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives you, the whole humanity will be saved from your shar, evil. True? Yes, true. Can you do this favor for me? He says, yes, I will do it, inshallah. And Ibrahim alayhi salam, not Ibrahim alayhi salam, Musa alayhi salam, takes off. Wa akhiru da'wana, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen, lillahi ta'ala fatiha. As the Turks would put it, arkası yarın. To be continued.